Hello everyone, and welcome to Noodle Journey, your destination for detailed and informative reviews of the instant noodle universe. And today, have I got a scoop for you. I'm reviewing the current holy grail of Buldak noodles, something that a lot of people think has been discontinued for years. This is Samyang Buldak Mala flavor. Before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these reviews. This was not cheap to get my hands on, so your likes and subs help keep this channel going. Okay, so just a warning, this video is going to be a chatty one, but it is because this flavor has a very interesting history that I want to get into. Several years back, this mala flavor was one of the more popular Buldak varieties and was exported to lots of markets, and then suddenly Samyang discontinued it a few years ago without any explanation. Ever since then, I have seen so many people on social media asking, what happened to the mala flavor? It was my favorite one. Well, two things happened after the discontinuation. One is that Samyang created a new mala product available in South Korea and some other Asian markets. This one, but it is not the same as this one. This one contains flat noodles and has different ingredients in the sauce. And I promise to review this one sooner rather than later as a comparison to this. The other thing that happened that is more relevant to this video is that Samyang started manufacturing the actual honest-to-God pillow pack again, but only in Indonesia, selling it under this Samyang Green branding, which from what my research can tell is an exclusive branding for the Indonesian market for halal products. Anyway, the point is that against all odds and information to the contrary, this flavor still exists, just in a very specific place. As best as my sleuthing abilities can come up with, Buldak Mala flavor popped back into existence about 3 years ago, and while someday Samyang might decide to release this flavor globally, unless you live in Indonesia or within traveling distance of it, you may have to jump through some hoops to buy it right now in 2024. I had to reach out to a contact living in Indonesia to get this for review, but you might have luck with an international shipping proxy service to wherever you live, or an e-commerce site like Shopee or eBay if you can find an international shipper. If you're serious about buying this, check the video description or the pinned comments, and any information I get about finding this to order online, I will keep there. It is possible this is also available in other places in Asia, but this is the only one I've been able to verify right now, considering it is in my hands. All right, for now, let's forget about availability and get to what this is and what's in it. Mala sauce comes from Chinese cuisine, and if you're unfamiliar with it, it is typically made from a combination of Sichuan peppercorn, chili pepper, bean paste, and an assortment of other spices and aromatics, usually Chinese 5-spice. The main feature is that it's spicy, slightly floral and herby in flavor, and also numbing, which is what the peppercorns do to your lips and mouth. They give you this kind of tingly sensation when you eat them. Some people don't like that. I usually do, as long as the flavors are all nicely balanced. And judging by how passionate the fan base of this mala flavor is, lots of people enjoy the numbing spicy punch that mala brings. One final note before I open this up. I know I've been talking a lot, but it's an important one. It's about the spice level. When Buldak Mala came out originally, there were some people selling it as 4x spicy Buldak for whatever reason. Maybe a mistranslation, maybe someone looking to sell this under false pretenses. But the 4x rumors kind of stuck with this flavor while it was originally around. Officially, the Scoville rating for the original version of this product, years ago, was 2,700 Scoville units, which is 30% of Buldak 2X. The official Samyang Green Instagram account says that this is a spicier recipe than the original, bumped up to 4,400 Scoville units, which is identical to the regular black packaged hot chicken Buldak flavor. So sadly, I won't be able to say if anything else changed with this recipe since I never tried the original one, but for those of you who fondly remember that original one, this one will be spicier. That's enough chit chat, let's talk about the nutrition and ingredients. The sodium level for this whole pack is pretty reasonable, 1,490 milligrams. Let's open it up and see what's inside. Okay, so inside the pack, we've got a pretty typical looking block of round Buldak noodles, a sauce packet, and a flake packet. Now, as always, I have to rely on Google Lens to translate what's on this package. And let me tell you that Google Lens is not very good at recognizing and translating Indonesian. What I was able to get out of this was that the sauce contains soy sauce, sugar, artificial chicken flavoring, soybean oil, chili pepper, of course, onion, garlic, star anise, fennel, and coriander. What is not specified in the translation, but what I'm assuming must exist here, is Sichuan peppercorn, otherwise it's not really mala. Then in the flake packet, there's dried cabbage, dried carrots, dried bok choy, soy protein, meaning artificial beef pieces, and mushrooms. Now, I already know that this is halal because that's the whole point of this Samyang green product line. But as far as I can discern from the translation, this does also appear to be vegan, though I can't be 100% certain of that, so check for yourself. For anyone wondering, I did compare the ingredients in this pack to screenshots of the ingredients of the original recipe, and the major variation, aside from the amount of chili pepper, appears to be that this one uses artificial chicken powder and the original used artificial beef powder. Otherwise, I can't find any significant differences. Okay, cooking time. This is basically like cooking every other Buldak flavor. Boil the noodles and flakes for 5 minutes, reserve 8 tablespoons of water, or less, depending on how thick you want your sauce. Add the sauce packet, stir fry for 30 seconds, and serve. And I will go do all of that right now. All right, and here we go. One thing I've seen asked on Reddit a few times is, how important is the stir frying step for the Buldak sauce? And usually my answer is not very. But with this, I'm noticing that the sauce became a lot more fragrant during the stir frying step, even for only 30 seconds. Between the time that I put it into my pot and the time that it was done sizzling, it just created this remarkable mala aroma, that kind of herby, star anise, fennel, Sichuan peppercorn combo, basically a floral licorice adjacent smell. And some people love it or hate it. I am a fan of it. I think this smells great. This is the consistency of the sauce with 8 tablespoons of water reserved, which is what the instructions say to do. So don't gripe at me that this is too watery because I follow the instructions for these reviews. When I cook this for myself, I use less water. And if you want it that way, just reserve less water for yourself when you cook. That goes for all Buldak, not just this one. All right, it is time for a taste test to see if this lives up to the hype. Ooh, all right. It's actually been a little while since I've had something this spicy, so excuse me. All right, noodle score first. These are standard square Buldak noodles, no surprises here. If you've had them before, you know what to expect. They're tasty, thick, chewy, not quite as pleasant to my mouth as their slightly flatter counterparts in the other varieties like carbonara, but a nice 8 out of 10 noodle score. The spice level is, yeah, as promised, pretty much on par with the original hot chicken flavor. From all we talked about earlier, I'm confident in saying that this must be spicier than the original production run of this flavor. And not only is it the same burning sensation I get with regular Buldak, but you've got the extra tingle from the Sichuan peppercorn giving you some numbing sensation on top of it. It is a good, powerful combination of spices, and if you can handle original Buldak, you'll be able to handle this. So I'm going to give it the same spice score that I gave the original Buldak flavor, 8 out of 10, but it is more tingly because of the peppercorn. And so let's talk about the flavor of this. I think it's absolutely wonderful, but I am one of those who loves the way that these herbs and Sichuan peppercorn taste. It's got a bit of a licorice profile from the fennel and anise, some floral notes from the peppercorn, some earthy elements, and then keeping it all balanced is a really good punch of soy umami with some garlic and onion. It is a great balance, salty, savory, a little sweet and pungent. If you've only ever had mala from an American Chinese takeout place, this is similar in flavor profile, but it is much stronger and it is certainly more spicy. And if you like mala from your American Chinese takeout place and you love spicy food, then you will almost certainly enjoy this. Now, like I've said, I can't say if this matches the original mala recipe that everyone loves, but if this is what that one tasted like, I can see why it was so beloved. This is an addictive combination of flavors. Combining the Buldak spice with an intense and flavorful sauce like this is genius. The flake packet deserves some attention too. I wish it was a little more generous. Samyang does pretty much notoriously skimp on the flakes in most of the Buldak varieties, but the quality of the flakes in here is pretty good. The big highlight, as you may have guessed, is the artificial beef soy protein pieces. They kind of remind me of the ones that came in the jambong variety. They're well seasoned, savory in their own right, a very tender, beefy texture to them. The mushrooms, which seem to be shiitake mushrooms, are also a perfect flavor and texture, and the carrots are tender and flavorful. So there's very little I dislike about this other than the quantity of flakes, and just from a personal preference that while I love this flavor, I'm not always in the mood for it. But if I'm scoring this purely based on the quality, flavor, and presentation, ignoring the lengths that I had to go to import it into the USA, this is a 9.5 out of 10 for me. It's an amazing combination of flavor and spice. I love this. If you are a Buldak fanatic and you missed this when it was originally available, you're probably going to want to keep abreast on the availability of this flavor and maybe buy it for yourself. If you love this before it got discontinued, I'm sorry that I can't tell you if this is the same recipe, but I can assure you that what I have here is delicious. If you live outside of Indonesia and want to take the steps to import this for yourself, I would not blame you in the slightest for spending the extra cash and treating yourself. The only folks who should stay away from this are those of you who avoid the herbs and spices in this sauce normally, or, just don't like Buldak. So that's it for this very special review. If you loved this flavor before and have tried it since it came back, I'd love to know if you think the recipes are the same. If you end up buying this for yourself, let me know if you love it like I did. I'm going to check out the much easier to find bowl version of this that comes with those flat noodles in the near future so we can see how closely the flavors match. Because the bowl has different ingredients from this, so that's going to be its own separate review. So I hope you'll join me for that and all my other videos here on Noodle Journey.